What is going on, guys? My name is Yeti, and if you have been keeping up with this, we have been going and watching Asmongold's reaction to Blizzard's announcement of Dragonflight. So we went ahead and we've been breaking it up into just small sections, so about 30-minute videos each. This will be video 3, and as you can see, we didn't get all that far because I've been stopping and going over a lot of stuff and my thoughts on the matter and like different things that come up in this video. But this one I'm going to try to let it play out a little bit more and not pause it as much. So without further ado, guys, let's jump into this. Let's go over some stuff and see what's going on. Boom.
Into a great sword, you can put that work order up, list your mats, offer a commission, and a skilled blacksmith can come along and make you the weapon of your dreams.
I think we left out one thing, though. Be a Drakthir, go to Dragon Isles. Can I have a dragon?
What's the fantasy of dragons, if not soaring over the
I am
land?
going to pause him on this
and
one.
so we're really excited
once he goes over
to
everything.
introduce a feature that we're calling dragon riding. It's dynamic with, everything.
No, why you do this to me? Stop it.
I give families a home.
Go away.
Everything from momentum to dive bombs, the ability to, just sort of build that speed up and feel the world rushing past you in a way that should be much more exciting than traditional flight that we've made available in the past, but that's also available for players through a customizable dragon mount right from the start.
So
I'm still adjusting.
So they're doing it. They're doing exactly what I said.
over time, right, to become
They're making flying from the start.
Yes, you'll be able to sort of upgrade
This is exactly what I
aspects of your
said.
flight.
I knew it.
You will have
Fuck!
this
I knew it.
flight from the start. And the Dragon Companion that you have is, of course, very thoroughly customizable, which is a new thing for us for mounts. This is not just a generic dragon.
That's
that
another
everyone
thing
has,
I wanted.
but a drake that is yours.
You can add
what
like
you want its
fucking
scales to look like, horns, the shape of its head, other attachments, armor pieces, and more. Take your pick.
This is so cool.
So yes, the Dragonflight expansion is going to see players leveling to 70, going to the all-new continent of the Dragon Isles, which consists of 5 zones.
I'm gonna pause it right here.
4
So a couple of things that really stick out to me with this is that as far as flying goes, and I haven't watched the last video I did, so I may be repeating myself or going over this. I don't think I am, but I don't know. I rewind it just a tad bit, but it doesn't matter. So the big thing I'm seeing here is that, one, I'm super glad, like, thank you, Blizzard, for doing something right on this one, because we should have had flying the past few expansions continuously, multiple times. Like, it shouldn't have been, the Pathfinder was a decent idea to try in Draenor, but after that, it wasn't great for the game. People weren't having as much fun. It's not fun when you have flying introduced all the way back in Burning Crusade, and then you get to Wrath of the Lich King, then you get it in Northrend, and then you get the flight license that you could then use to fly around Azeroth in. So it's not cool when every expansion after Draenor, all of a sudden, instead of you just hit cap and you pay like, I don't know, 5,000 gold to get your flying for that new zone or that new region for the expansion. That was super easy. That you're guaranteed to make that money while you're requesting because of the changes they made over time. So you were going to for sure make that gold. So when you hit cap, unless you're an idiot and you just blew all your gold for no reason, you're going to get flying as soon as you ding to the cap. Mr. Pandaria, 90 ding, go over to your temple, get your flying, move on. This, I think, is going to be cool. I'm really excited about it. One thing that makes me nervous about this system is, will this extend out to other zones out in the world? Can you fly your Drake that you're going to be customizing and growing as you go through this? Can you use it outside? Or is it just going to be the Dragon Isles that you can only fly around and use this mountain and do these dive bombs and stuff? Is this going to be applicable and then slowly transition to the old mounts? Will you be able to be on your Dragonhawk mount or your I don't know, albino Drake, and then just do these same things? So I doubt Blizzard would do that. Blizzard doesn't have a great track record of going back and making old content better. They typically add it to the game. It is what it is, and then they leave it instead of building upon it and expanding it and growing it. I mean, that's why you still don't have flying over in the Exodar or over in Silvermoon City. You don't have flying in those areas because they're, from my understanding of it, it's like 2D trickery, I guess, in a way, to where it makes you think it's like a 3D object, and then if you were to actually go above it and look down, you're just gonna see the map, just straight through the buildings. So Blizzard hasn't taken the time to do that, to make the game better, to also find a way to get rid of the loading screen when you go to these places, even though it's not needed anymore. So, I don't know. I'm hoping Blizzard makes the right choice. You can then use this in your mount, and use this dragon or whatever that we'll get, fly around, and do all these cool stunts and things and traverse the area. And I hope they build on that and expand it into the older mounts, the older flying mounts, that you get something similar, and then that moving forward, this is something that flying is going to be from now on with all mounts, no matter what we get, that this is going to be an option of things that you can do to make flying fun and interesting, besides the old standard hold your mouse down and then just fly straight, or hit and down lock, or whatever your keybind is to just keep flying. So we'll see. I'm hopeful.
And a new starter zone for our Drakthir class, as well as a range of systems revamps.
The level
such as
cap,
a new talent system.
I know, I do remember I spoke on
and
this.
an entirely fresh look at professions.
There's no need.
God,
just keep it at
damn.
60. Just
Also,
keep it
getting
at
around
60.
the Dragon Isles is going to come
There's
in
no
the
need
form
for it
of
to be
Dragon
70.
Riding, which lets you customize and upgrade your
That's a
own
cool
mount
dragon.
so that you can fly, in a sense, from the start. And of course, as with any new expansion, we have a new set of dungeons, a raid, and much more to come.
We also have
One more quick thing. Flying with these new dragons or whatever, is this going to be a scenario where that it's timed? Because he says in a sense from the beginning you'll be able to fly. So what does that mean? Are we going to be able to fly, or is it going to be like you can be on this dragon and it's a cooldown, and it's like a 10 or 15 minute cooldown? But I don't know. We'll see. I'm hopeful.
an
I'm
alpha that
skeptical.
will be starting up in the future.
Check out our website for more information, and
In
keep
the
an eye out for
future
those
when?
opt-in signups. If
He
you want
almost
to
said
help
when,
us
and then
test
he
out
stopped
Dragonflight
himself.
and give us even more feedback to make it better.
We do have a deep dive that follows this, so please stay around.
Oh,
Classic players, we
Okay.
haven't forgotten about you.
yes.
You could probably guess
Say it.
where we're going to go next. One of the all-time
Yes.
favorite
Okay.
expansions for World of
Fucker.
Warcraft. Let's watch the cinematic.
This is a cool new cinematic.
All right. Wait.
Wait a second.
No way.
What the hell?
This is so good. The first time I saw this, I was blown away.
There's no way.
It's a crisp,
No,
cool
don't
way
get-
to
don't get-
reintroduce
no
this
way.
expansion.
No, don't get too hyped.
Oh
my.
yeah.
My son, the day you were born, the very forests of
WoW's
Lordaeron
best expansion.
whispered the name
100%.
Oh,
It has its flaws, but
Arthas.
thematic,
oh.
from the questing to just how you
Oh my
felt
god.
with the first hero class.
Oh
the
my fucking
raids.
god.
when my days have
So
come to an end.
good, man.
like-
There's bad things in every expansion, and Wrath of the Lich King's no
Shall
exception.
be.
But
King.
Yes, motherfucker.
it's just
There
so
it
good.
is, boys. There it is.
When WoW was at its
2022.
absolute
That's
best
this year.
as a
Coming out
game
this motherfucking year.
for the people.
What?
Not,
Yep.
not the top
It's just incredible, isn't it? Every
levels
time
of players,
I
not
see
the bottom level
cinematic,
players.
I
Just
get
God
everybody.
damn,
no pun
bro.
intended, I do. I get chills.
Great
As you
overall
saw, Wrath
expansion.
of the Lich King Classic is coming this year. It brings back so many memories. When you see that cinematic,
Oh my
what do
God.
you remember from Wrath of the Lich King?
anytime you wanted to talk about undead frozen dragons,
Me never
how can you
getting
not
Zelda
go back to
painting
Sindragosa
longbow
as
because
the
it kept
source?
getting stolen
That was
from
the
me by
first
my raid
expansion I
leader.
played with my youngest son. So I can
To
remember
all the other
on that
hunters.
platform, black goo and
We just
chunks of
cap
ice
and then come
falling
into the
off
raid.
and having to repeat that battle
we'd
with the
roll.
Lich King. But when we finally downed him, it was such an incredible moment. He
I
jumped
got
up
the
out of
bow
his
one week
room and I jumped
before
up out of my
Cataclysm.
office. We're like, yeah,
That's what I remember.
did it. So it's a very lasting tale for me.
I'm still
So
so
as
bitter.
you know,
I
with
remember
this
Jeff used to sit
expansion,
behind me
you will, in
and,
pre-patch, be able to
prog
play
on
the
the Lich
Death
King.
Knight. They will start at level 55. You don't have to have a high-level character to make
Oh,
the Death
no,
Knight, so
everybody
everyone
can
will
just
be able to
make
make one.
We're excited to get players some time before Wrath.
Okay, yeah, I'm with these guys. I'm with Asmongold and McConnell. You don't want to do that. Especially this new type of class where it's not going to be the traditional click or whatever or use your key bindings. Like there's going to be interactive spells where you have to hold things down longer. So this is going to be new for everybody. But the newest players don't know, no, dude, no, and you don't want to do that. You don't want to do that. I know Blizzard has gone on this kick for a long time where it's all about accessibility. And when I say that, I don't mean like accessibility as far as letting more gamers come in and play the game. I'm talking about them removing these barriers to entry, such as like vanilla WoW, where you had to get to level 40 to get your basic mount. You had to get to level 60 to get your epic mount. And then from those mounts, the price to learn writing and then buy the mount was astronomical. Back in the day. Now, it's like get to level. You don't even have to get to a level. If you have an alt, you can just have the heirloom mount and just go around that way. And no, it's not as fast as a regular mount, but it's still fast enough that it helps you out a lot. And then you just get to level 20. You pay like a handful of gold, and you're good to go. Get to level 40, you're riding epic. And just these little things like that make it to where players aren't going to get the same experience and satisfaction and also learn how the game operates. Even though it may be an annoyance at that time, everybody who started back in, I'm going to break it into a category. Anybody who started from vanilla all the way to Wrath remembers this. Pretty much. Wrath was a lot more easy because the goal requirements to get flying and stuff was lowered and gold became more easily accessible. But it was still quite grindy in comparison to once you get into Cataclysm and beyond. So when you're doing these things, it actually means something. Now it doesn't. And one of the things that like when Death Knights and Demon Hunters is you had to have a character of that level. So you had to have gone through and taken a level 1 all the way up to 55, 58, whatever it is. So you have to become ingrained in how the game plays, and I don't think that's a wise choice where a new player can jump in immediately and be like, oh, I'm gonna make this dragon hero class because it looks cool. Like, you're gonna have so many beginners trying to jump into a more, from what it sounds like and it looks like, a more advanced class. That's not gonna be good. It's gonna create some issues and lead to more toxicity in the community. So I hope that they rethink that one and put some kind of a gap.
Can't wait to run Ramparts,
Some kind of
boys.
block. I don't know.
To explore in Northrend.
That's gonna
And
be
I
so
fun.
wanted
happy to go
talk
back
about
here.
Some of our favorites. So for me, Grizzly Hills has a very special place in my
I
heart.
still have
The
never
music
played
was
Grizzly
some
Hills.
of the
I
best
need
I've
to. I've heard it is
experienced
the
in
best
World of
one.
Warcraft.
I still make my way all the way up to
I
Storm
love
Peaks to try
Dragonflight.
and find the time lost Protodrake. And
I don't know if you are
have yet to get it.
Dragonflight.
I've got to say
come on, dude.
Dragonflight. The wide open
And
nature
Borean
of the zone,
Tundra are my
this temple in the
favorites.
center
Just make
of
a
it,
character on
it's
a
an
dead
unforgettable
server.
Also, our
expansion
basin
as
is
both a developer
also
and a player and kind
so
of making that
good.
transition from one to
Oh, at
the
least
other.
now we know he's
Now
never been in my
let's talk
mouth.
about some changes.
Don't really care about
so
Storm
one
Peaks or
thing
Ice Crown.
we looked at is Dungeon Finder, and it feels like how we envision Classic, Dungeon Finder is not a good fit for our community.
That was kind of the first step that may have eroded some of that social fabric. Now, as people...
Pause. Big pause. So right here, that is massive, guys. That is massive. That shifts the entire dynamic and the whole paradigm of how we view World of Warcraft. From the get-go, that was the best choice they could have done right there for Classic, is get rid of Dungeon Finder. Big win. Issue right here that I see is they're doing it for just Classic. Blizzard, guys over there, Ingen, whoever, take it out of retail. You're taking it out of Classic, where arguably it should be more pure to what the game was back then than it is now. You even just admit right here to everybody in the community that adding Dungeon Finder helped erode the social aspects of the game, so why are you keeping it in retail? Get rid of it. Get rid of it. Get rid of all LFR. Be done with it. If you're going to keep it because you feel like you have to for some reason, only make it for normal dungeons. No heroic dungeons. No mythic dungeons. No mythic plus. Get rid of LFR, and just be done. Just get rid of it. It is not good or healthy for the game or the player base. It needs to go. Okay, that's my rant. I'm sorry. That has been something that has bugged me for
rebuilding those groups,
years and
relying
years
on
and
each
years
other,
now.
not wanting necessarily a random participant just to show up and then leave.
Yep.
Yeah, that
What
makes
the
total
fuck?
sense.
But today, you can do that in Shadowlands. You'll be able to do that in Dragonflight.
No,
It's a self-selected
take it
group of
out,
people who
Ian.
Specifically want
Take it
that
out.
different experience.
Yes.
Let's make
No,
sure
it's
that's
not
what
about
we
different
give.
experience. You
Leads
don't.
right
You shouldn't
into
have that
Arena
experience.
in Burning Crusade Classic. So we listened
That is
to the
bad for
community
the
and we
game.
remove that because individual
Take it
rating
out.
is
Do the right
preferable
thing.
and a better
Take it
experience
out.
for them than arena teams. Also, with Wrath of the Lich King,
Arena teams
Barbershop,
suck.
which allows you to customize your character. We're going to be adding a few more options that were
Okay,
not
that's cool.
existing when Wrath launched. But
Okay,
also
so why
there's
is
another
it
side of this where we are not going
that
to charge
classic
a real money
versions
fee. It was a
of World of
paid character
Warcraft,
customization fee,
they're
right?
making positive
It seems the right
changes
thing to do,
that will make
that
the
just
game
be
better,
available in
but
game
they
for
won't do
gold,
it for
and we add
retail.
more options to it, right?
Wow.
Sort of like spell batching in a sense.
It's
There's a
not
lot
just
of
like
technical
throw out a new
Great,
expansion
that's
with
awesome.
some cool stuff.
What makes
It's
classic
the
classic.
mechanics
Fuck yeah.
within the
Together,
game
it's
that help
just what's the better
all the
Yeah, that's the better
systems
experience
and
for
let's
sure.
not
that drive the
arbitrarily
game.
restrict something that we can
They're
provide a
tweaking
better
them
version
in the
of just for
classic
the sake of
versions to make the
nostalgia.
games
This is-
better
we're
than
happy
they
to say this is
were.
one of those cases.
So
Great.
Retail,
Wrath,
they're just like,
the
nah,
level
it's
cap's
fine,
been
leave it.
increased to level 80,
Why?
so we'll be introducing
Why?
a level
Change it.
70 boost so that
Fix it.
players who want to get in with their friends
You're
or just
changing it
people
from
in
your
North
fine-
Round
your
right
view on
away will be
fine
able
from
to
the
do
sounds of
that.
it.
You can't apply it to a Death Knight, but you will be able to use it otherwise. And
Okay.
of course, we have Inscription,
That's-
a whole
yep.
new profession.
Yeah.
We all
so
knew
we're
that
really
was going to
excited
happen.
about
Yeah.
that.
We all
Yeah,
knew
and
this was
as
going to
we
happen.
continue
We know,
this
yeah.
I'm
road
sorry,
to
but, like, I
Wrath,
don't give
we're
a
gonna be
shit.
looking to
I
getting
give a
lot
shit.
more
I don't.
feedback on beta, and we'll make changes
Like
as we need
I
to.
don't. By burning,
Such an
by
exciting
Wrath, it
time
was so
to be
easy to
playing
level.
World
It
of
doesn't matter.
Warcraft. We have the return of the Wrath of
True.
the Lich King for classic fans, and taking us somewhere new with Dragonflight. We're so excited to be able to bring these adventures to you. Don't forget, there's a deep dive on Dragonflight where
Okay,
you're
they're
going to
wrapping
get
up
a
this
lot more
segment.
information.
But it doesn't
Wait,
matter.
when is that?
But they're
When
right.
does that
We're
happen?
spending this
It's
time
like
with us.
Asmongold's right.
Definitely.
Is
Yeah,
that it
yeah,
doesn't
okay.
matter.
And we'll see you
Leveling
in
at that
Northland.
point
Okay,
in Wrath of the
everybody
Lich King
shush,
is so
shush.
easy.
I think it's gonna keep going, right?
It sure
Before we
fucking
jump into
is.
this one, leveling was so easy. There's no need. Get rid of it. It's fine. Like the boost, it's not cool, but it's okay. It's not a big deal, and it's an expansion that almost everybody's already played. That was the pinnacle of WoW. That was when the most players were playing at any given time. Huge, ginormous communities at that point. Almost everybody who's going to be jumping back in has played it. There's going to be a few people here and there, but whatever. It doesn't matter. So, it can be whatever it is.
All right, here we go.
Hi there. Welcome to the Dragonflight Deep Dive. I'm Steve Denuser.
And I'm Taryn Gregory. Starting it
All
off
right,
here,
Steve.
we're going to talk about the setting
Hi,
and the
gentlemen.
story of Dragonflight.
All right,
We've got this great
Steve.
expansion.
Here we go.
Exciting
Okay,
pre-render
Steven.
trailer that everyone just watched. So let's talk about the setting for Dragonflight, the Dragon
Let's
Isles.
do it.
Dragon Isles have been known for a long time in Warcraft history as a mysterious place
cool.
where the dragons came from long ago, but we never knew much more than that.
We're going to this place that is kind of the broodlands of all the Dragonflights, the place where they nested, where they built their civilization. The Dragon Isles was the center of the Dragon's kingdom when the world was young and the mortal races were just starting to form kingdoms of their own. But when the Legion invaded for that War of the Ancients, that sundering that resulted from the explosion of the Well of Eternity, broke the world.
Literal sundering of the continents of Azeroth.
And because of the
happened
breaking
in
of the
real life,
world,
too.
that magic kind of drained away and the
no
land
more
went
dragons
dormant. So they had to
anymore,
leave the Dragon Isles behind. And as we saw in the pre-render, they left behind some Titan Watchers to look over the land. And when someday they hoped that elemental energy would resurge once again and draw the dragons home, reestablish their kingdom.
And that's when the message goes out to the flights, and they feel it in their bones.
Now it's the time for the sky to light up with the colors of the aspects once again, and for Alex Straza and the others to come home. But the land has changed a lot in all these thousands of years they've been away, and some very old threats have awakened as well.
Story and
We're looking into the
cinematic.
culture of dragons as they exist in Warcraft.
Go check out
Dragons
that
as we
first
know them
video. I
today
talked
were
about it.
very different in the early past, the early history of Azeroth. They were much more primitive, much more savage. What we now know as proto-dragons.
And then some of the dragons were empowered to become the aspects. The green flight, red flight, blue flight, bronze.
If Galakrond comes back and is actually in game, they need to do him justice. We don't need another Spine of Deathwing. We don't need another. I can't even remember the name of the final boss or encounter in Cataclysm in Dragon Soul. I don't remember it is, but fighting Deathwing on those platforms, that was stupid. Spine of Deathwing was stupid. Do not do that, Blizzard. Don't. Let us fight the avatar of Galakrond or whatever. That if you're gonna bring him back, make it something like that. That's cool. That's unique. That's you can go wild with. Just don't do a repeat, please.
Flight, black flight, each with unique powers, each with the ability to protect the world in different ways. These pillars of draconic power appointed to defend Azeroth from threats within and without.
Dragons used that power both for good in the case of most of the aspects, but also for nefarious reasons in the case of the Black Dragonflight led by Neltharion, who would become Deathwing.
And what we will find in Dragonflight is that some of these ancient divisions run deep. And so it begs the question, where do we go from here? If this is an opportunity to reclaim their legacy, to be the protectors, as the cinematic mentioned, that they once were.
To do that, they're going to need the help of our heroes, our players, to come to the Dragon Isles with them and face some of these reawakening challenges, because it's not just that this land is peacefully waiting for the dragons to return and reclaim
that's
it.
what I'm curious
There's
about.
those old enemies that have awakened as well.
Like who?
One of those being a race of kind of elemental half-giants, the Jarradin.
The Dragon Isles isn't just
Oh,
populated
they're
by
cool,
dragons
dude.
or just by the Jarradin. There's
Like
also
them.
many other occupants here in the Dragon Isles that have
Big
been
old
here
elephant.
just recently or for a while, including
Very
the
mossy
fan
elephant.
favorite coming back, the Tuskar.
That's going to be awesome. We've got other cultures there as well in the Dragon.
Blizzard, when do we get Tuskar as a playable race? We're wanting to know. Make it happen. We want to know.
Isles.
I
We're going
like
to find
those.
One
out
of the
about
best
a
races in
civilization
WoW.
of centaurs that predates the ones that arose on Kalimdor
Ooh,
much
that's a cool
later.
looking
That's
And
cool.
some of our favorite characters that we've seen over the last few expansions, such as Rathian.
And whether he's ready
Yes.
to step up into a leadership role,
He
or
better be.
if there are other alternatives out there
Wait,
that would be
other
better suited to the job of being the aspect of the Black
Tauren guy.
Dragonfly.
I think one thing the players are going to be really excited about this expansion is the new playable race, the Drakthir.
That's right.
And this is something
Yeah,
that
Evanor,
Neltharion,
yeah.
before he was Deathwing, before he went full crazy world dragon, that he put into motion.
Neltharion saw those primalists that were kind of breaking away from the aspects and what they wanted. And so, in those first experiments, he took the essence of dragons, their strength, their nobility, their wisdom, and he combined it with that scrappiness, that adaptability that the mortal race
That's cool that they're doing that because the
to
Drakthir have not
create
least
the
as far
ideal
as I'm aware,
soldier
been
in his mind, the Drac Theater.
anywhere near our lore.
Exploration is really one of the
Okay,
key
I like
themes
that.
been
That's
mentioned
good.
before.
We're
That
going
makes
to be
that
going
actually
to
makes
this
sense in
ancient
the
So I
lore.
place
do like how
that
they're
the dragons left
incorporating
behind long ago.
Yeah, that
So
makes
we
sense.
made
the
these
fairy and
huge
created
zones
them.
with all kinds of places
The Black
to
Dragonflight
delve
ducks,
into
that's really
and
cool.
find little treasures and little secrets tucked away. It's going to be a lot
I
of
love
fun
the
for
oracles.
players to be exploring these landscapes.
Cool.
And there's so much architectural history and how clearly
Oh,
aspirational
dude.
Oh
is the
my
kingdom
God.
of the dragons and how
That's
Thank God we
really
got
cool
flying
looking.
unreleased.
so much. And
That's really
the
cool
themes
looking.
of trying to return to
Fuck.
that, to try to find your
Seen it
legacy,
before, but I wasn't paying
to try
attention
to
as much.
figure out who you were before everything went awry. But there's questions.
I demand that we go back to the old models for the aspects from like Cataclysm, like the cinematic and stuff. You know, Alexstrasza looks cool, but she doesn't look as cool as she did back in Cataclysm and Wrath of the Lich King. Nor does Ysera. Just saying.
You know, thematic questions of what does it mean to be true to your legacy? Are we going to repeat the mistakes of the past?
The dragons have had to learn those lessons just like the mortal kingdoms have had to. And I think that's one of the reasons why the dragons see this now as the time that they have to return and they have to step up once again as protectors of Azeroth. We're helping the dragons because the dragons have helped
Those
us in the
models.
past too. So by using the Explorers
gotta
League
get
and the
some new
Reliquary
models for these
together,
guys.
that
They gotta
allows
get
us
some
to
new
delve
models.
into some of that history.
New models.
And when I look,
Keep the models,
you know,
just
upon
update
the
them.
Dragon Isles
My opinion.
and all of its visual splendor, I get
Bring them
so
into the modern
excited.
age.
That
For
looks
the
really
prospect
cool.
of a truly Azeroth
Like
world
Gallifrey.
alongside
Yeah.
Calicos, along with Rathian, Ebonhorn.
Wait, was that Calicos?
With Ysera's daughter
I think
Marithra,
so.
as
Oh,
each one of them
shit.
is trying to find their own flight. I am taken by the exploration
Okay.
and the potential for adventure and just new horizons within
screenshot
this
that. I wanna see
world.
that.
There's
after
going to
this.
be old stories from that time past, that history that only the dragons knew for the longest time. We're going to be able to explore that.
It really feels like just a breath of fresh air.
So now we're going to turn things over to some of our colleagues who will take you on that deep dive into the locations and the features of Dragonflight.
On
Okay.
This is pretty good.
So we're gonna actually wrap it up here before we jump into this part, because we're one running out of time, and two, I'm just gonna close on some thoughts. The big thing for me from this section that we've seen is just to summarize: flying. It needs to be. You need to be able to eventually fly with that Drake anywhere in Azeroth, Outland, wherever. It doesn't matter. The dragon riding type abilities and things, those need to be shifted towards the old content as well, the old mounts, the old dragons, dragonhawks, whatever mount they can fly. Maybe not all of them, but the dragon ones, maybe your firehawks, whatever, they should have those same abilities. They should, and then on top of that, it's not necessary, but I would enjoy it, and I think a lot of people would, is Blizzard, if you took the time, just a little bit of time, it doesn't matter, just finish Silvermoon, the Exodar, get rid of those, like, portals you have to go through. Just be done, please. That's my only thing on that. Next is just update the character models. Keep the same old aesthetic though. That was cool. It's very fantasy driven and based. The fan art, or not fan art, but the art of Alexstrasza standing there, that's on my thumbnail as well. It's cool, but it's not very Alexstrasza. It doesn't have that same feel. I don't know. My personal take on it though. And then that's really it. We're gonna be getting into more of it. And the next is just also that one thing before I forget is, my opinion, get rid of the level 70 boost cap, whatever we're doing, increasing the numbers again arbitrarily. Be done with that, guys. It's not needed anymore in World of Warcraft. It's not. Lots of other games that have new different systems. We don't need to keep leveling every new expansion. And then the Dragthier, don't just let anybody play it from the get-go. Please, Blizzard, do not just let anybody play it. At least have a level 55. It's a hero class. It's arguably going to be more difficult to play based on just what we've seen so far. Don't do it. Alright, that's it. That's my spiel for this video. I'm done. I'm going to go and play some Elden Ring now. I'm going to work on making some progress in that so I can start making videos for Elden Ring again, because some time has passed. I haven't been able to, and I've been really wanting to. So I'm going to go do that, and then hopefully maybe by not next weekend, I will be out of town, but maybe the following week of that, so somewhere around the 9th on, might be able to get some Elden Ring videos out and have made some significant progress that I can then show you guys. And then of course Secure is going to be coming on the way here shortly. I'm going to be working on that thumbnail this weekend as well, and then getting those videos posted, on top of also trying to carve out time. Probably will do it tomorrow as well, and spend a large chunk of the day just working on learning how to edit for you guys. So if you like this video, if you would love to support me, I hope you would. I would really appreciate it. Drop a like, leave a comment, share the video, and don't forget to subscribe and ring that little bell. Alright guys, I will see you all in the next one, and I hope you all have a lovely rest of your day, night, whatever time you're watching this. I'll see you there. Bye guys.